Good morning, North America. Welcome to MSI, baby. It is officially time. Best of fives nonstop for the next 2 weeks as we get into arguably the hardest tournament of the calendar year for LoL Esports. Maybe not the highest pressure, but definitely the most difficult format. And why not kick things off at a difficult tournament with the hardest possible matchup you can have versus the defending world champions? The first best of five of MSI, Team Liquid, North America, as we go against T1, defending world champions. And game one comp, we give over the Camille Mel to T1, their circus that is to be had. And unsurprisingly, the Camille worked pretty well for Keria as he was able to get an early kill in a bot lane skirmish here with a nice little flash engage onto Yon. Ooh, there it is. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you got Faker on Orianna. We tried to give it over, seeing if the Akali could counter one of Quid's stronger champions that he feels pretty comfortable on. Unfortunately, giving a double kill to Faker in a mid-game skirmish, not the best idea. But luckily, we didn't just roll over and die after this moment, even though Camille would continue to do her job, do her work, and spread pressure across the map, including more kills on Yon, who never found his footing in this game. But we still did find kills elsewhere. We were able to get back into it ever so slightly. The Akali got online. Yasuo topside for Morgan. Yeah, you are seeing that right. Unfortunately, it didn't really mean all that much in this series. The Yasuo was supposed to get ahead in lane, but things fell apart elsewhere, so we were never really able to send the Wukong topside to be able to help him out. But it is what it is. Wrapping up the game, one final fight. Brought ourselves back into it. Could we close it out? Yasuo trying to go in. Yasuo trying to do something. Wukong with a massive knockup, but it's unfortunately just not enough. Too far behind. Wallet diff. And that's game one over to T1. Bit of a smash overall, even though we went down fighting, which is the important part. So, game two. What adjustment would you make? Well, we go with the Senadano's bot lane that's supposed to scale. And it gets pummeled in pretty early. The focus towards Yon and trying to kill him early on worked pretty well for T1. He dies in this fight. Luckily, it is traded back ever so slightly. The kill does stay on Senna. But the MVP of this particular game would be Quid, who in the mid game brought us right back into it. Yes, the Kalista was cooking. Morgan getting a solo kill on to Doran himself. But Quid in these mid-game fights would be an absolute animal, getting, I believe, a triple kill within this fight as we'd finally bring ourselves back into it, overcome the gold deficit that T1 would have on us. And at one point during this series, or during this game, we would have a 6k gold lead over T1, which is an amazing feat. But the problem is you have to close that out. And we did not have the tempo to match T1. That broken stopwatch there was a cascading effect that you would see unfortunately unravel the entire thing, as several seconds later, Quid would die from not having that stopwatch. It all leads to one final dragon fight. Can we hit the smite to get the Infernal Soul? Can we win the fight to take a game off of T1? It looks great early on trying to go for pays, but unfortunately a little too far. Too many resources used, and the Kalista would be given time to pop off, and you throw game two. Game three, not a great start. Jose Dioto trying to invade in jungle. It ends up with a double kill onto Owner, and is not the guy, well, one kill to Owner, one kill to Faker. Not the guy that you want to see get ahead. It all leads to one final fight as TL was able to fight our way back into it. But the smites did not go our way. 6 for 6 in 50-50 smites over to Owner in this particular series. And unfortunately, T1 closing out with a 3-0. But signs of life for TL. One final fight. Pays on his signature. Yeah, you don't want to see a Zeri coming in your face. That's a weird way to say it. You don't want to see a Zeri fighting like that. I'll tell you, my takeaway from this series, despite it being a 3-0, was actually fairly positive. There were a lot of moments where, yes, T1 kicked our teeth in. That game one, we clearly just were not used to dealing with a game pace like this. The Camille, once she's able to spread that pressure around, we had no answer for it at all. Yes, we clawed our way back into it ever so slightly. We fought a little bit better, And the big thing that I was looking to see was, would we improve upon our mistakes? Like, are you taking these lessons that you are learning in real time and very quickly turning them into something that's actually tangible and useful for you within this series long term? Game 2, the bounce back was exactly what I wanted to see. I know people were going to look at that bot lane falling behind, but that is the whole point of the Send a Nautilus into the Kalista and Renata. Like, they're supposed to get ahead. We just have to get advantages elsewhere, which we did. Like, the only criticism that, in my opinion, you throw towards this game 2 is that you didn't learn from the tempo of game 1 that you have to push your leads and advantages. We'd see throughout the series that as Team 1 gets a little bit ahead, or even if they're at a goal deficit, they're trying to force plays. They're trying to use their advantages where they have them to then put you in a corner and waste your resources. It felt like when we got that 6K gold lead, it was like, all right, nice, cool, scaled a dragon. And it was like, no, you can't do that. You can't waste time. You can't allow T1 to try and make tempo plays on the map by obviously taking advantage of Quid and his broken stopwatch. But like, learning lesson. You at least got a gold lead, which is a massive improvement. Game 3, that just started off terribly. I don't know what to say there other than Jose Diota just did not, unfortunately, have his best smite off series against the world champion and owner. I'm not going to be mad at him for it. I don't like the fact that we took that fight early on in game 3. I think our comp was perfectly fine. There was somebody in chat that said, you got to throw things against the wall when it comes to T1. No, I think you need to commit to your style. And bad plays like that, you just can't afford to have in that situation, because there were many points after that moment where we brought it back and we were even in that game. We ran out of time towards the end with the Zeri, but if it would have been even prior to that, maybe we're able to have a slightly larger gold lead and close it out. But overall, 3-0'd by T1, kind of the expected result from many. We now go into the losers bracket where we will face the loser of DCG and KC, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But I do want to address the Spawn interview and Spawn comments, because I know a lot of people were wondering what he would say between games or just in general with the series. And Spawn's tone that he took, at least with the clip that Team Liquid put out, was like, hey, go into this with confidence, like you have nothing to lose, and have fun and enjoy high-level League of Legends. And a lot of people were like, you should go out there wanting to win. Like, they were pissed at his tone a little bit, which I don't quite understand. It's like, in those moments, speaking from myself and my perspective in competition, you want to try and normalize the moment as much as you can. And relying on the fun factor is actually a really good idea and something that has worked for me personally in high-level competition. It's like, go out and enjoy it. If you're having fun despite the struggles, you're more likely to do the things that you normally would. There are times that you need to lock in, but that will happen naturally throughout the series. You don't have to like be so tense on that starting off. But there were Twitter incels and beyond that were like, oh, that's such a weak-minded opinion. It's like, shut up. Get offline. Go do anything with your life. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, let's take a look at that next series. So speaking of learning and adapting in real time, this particular series, I'm just going to put the highlights here on the side, because one thing I've learned while doing all this and literally editing it in real time this morning is that it takes a while to get that initial clip section down to like a 6-minute portion that feels representative of the series and then comment or to commentate over top of it. I'm only going to do that for North American series, where I think I want to show more of the highlights and show how we lose. But the rest of the series, I'm just going to put up on the side as we talk through, because I feel like that's going to be a little bit easier for me to do. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, if this is still a digestible format or if you want to see the full screen highlights similar to ESPN. I will just tell you, this is obviously a lot easier for me to do, and when North America is not playing, it's just going to be a more digestible way. Anyways, KC DCG. This was a question coming into the series of, where does the second seed out of the PCS land in terms of relative power rankings for all regions? Because we've seen the first seed last year take the best teams in the world to 5, but the second seed, not as much. And Europe, similar thing. Like, we got G2 going to finals of first stand, taking series off of top teams. Where would the second seed lie? And the answer was, oh my god, Europe's on a completely different planet in terms of the 2 seed compared to the PCS. Dude, they beat the teeth in of DCG. Game 1 was close until it wasn't. There was a fall off point where KC's comp finally came online. Their team fighting was solid, and they just steamrolled it. Game 2 was the single largest goal lead I think I've seen in professional League of Legends. It was a near perfect game for a long time in this series. Zeri got ahead a massive amount. Like, there was never a point where DCG looked like they were close, even though they would get some shutdowns later. KC was in control of the entire game from start to finish. Like, it's a fun watch if you want to go back and see like dominance on the Rift, but beyond that, you have no reason to watch it. Game 3, at least the Rise got ahead for DCG, and there was an avenue of which they could possibly get into this, but the mid-game team fighting of KC was just too much for them to deal with. So KC takes it 3-0, and now it sets up 2 matchups. The first of which we're going to see tonight, which is going to be DCG versus Team Liquid, North America, fighting for our survival. This is a point where we, not against the second seed, but this is a point where we dropped last MSI from our 2 seed. And honestly, I'm not all that worried about this series. I feel very confident going into it because of how we played against T1 and the lessons we learned in a very short period of time. I think the players will get more comfortable on that stage. It was very clear based on Spawn's words that we were a little bit nervous. I'm not expecting that to be the case here against the second seed from the PCS. Yes, there's the nerves of like going home, but I expect us to play pretty well in this case. I would say a 3-0 for us over this. The question elsewhere, like the more fun series to watch, is going to be KC versus T1. I think we all expect T1 to win that series. The question is, does KC put up more of a fight than we did? But also, what kind of form is KC likely going to be in as we hopefully face off against them in an elimination series? So enjoy the reprieve for a little bit. Take your 12 hours. That's really it from MSI in terms of the headlines. The other things to talk about real quick, Doubleless tournament that he's hosting with Team Liquid, the retirement home tournament. Dude, the production on it is insane. Like, I'll be honest with you, and I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. I like the production value of that better than I like the LCS broadcast right now. It's way, like, it's laid back in a way that feels informal, which I get. It's like a different tournament. You wouldn't expect the LCS to have that kind of vibe to it, but it has old school league feel, which to me felt more ESPN style, if that makes sense, while the conversation was very much laxed and like chill. I think Double did a very good job at casting, and overall, I just want to spotlight this tournament because it's been really fun to watch so far. Today, you have the Grand Finals, Best of 5, and the Best of 3 to go alongside of that. And actually, I should load up my phone. The only other thing that is worth noting is outside of that, shifting over to Call of Duty real quick, the Paris Gentlemates are going into the losers finals of the Call of Duty Major, and I didn't see what happened. Oh, we got 3-0'd by LA Thieves. Oh, great. LA Thieves looking strong going into finals. Dude, the arena for this Call of Duty Major is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And now we're about to get the series right now that I've been waiting for all weekend, which is Optic versus the hometown Paris crowd and Paris's team. Oh god, dude, today's gonna be a great day of Call of Duty. I want to go watch that. For the rest of you that enjoy League of Legends, enjoy Doublelift's retirement home tournament that's ongoing. It'll be resuming here in a few hours. Enjoy MSI later tonight. Come on, Team Liquid, get the dub, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning where we'll talk about that series and highlight the games that were. Again, be sure to let me know in the comments which style you like a little bit better. Obviously, I will spend more time talking about TL, even if I were to swap it over to the KC style highlights that I did here, but I need your feedback. So thank you all, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.